Hey guys, Matt Waxler here from Wheels Through Time Museum. Exciting day. We've got the 1915 Indian Model D1 down from the table. Brandon and his grandfather Jim came in, told me all sorts of great stories about firing this machine up about 4 years ago with my dad. That's the last time this motorcycle ran. We sat here and reminisced about it enough where these guys gave me the itch. It's like, let's get this thing back down, fire it up again. So really, really cool day today. Now, the Model D1, as we know it, this is the only example of a motorcycle like this from the Indian Motorcycle Company. 1000cc racing motorcycle. This one's got all sorts of special trim. So pocket valve engine, as you can see, it's got the funky can exhaust here that was some modification of the previous owner. Now the Model D1, different than your standard board track racing motorcycles in that most of your board trackers, no brakes, no clutch, direct drive. This one here is set up with both a brake and a clutch. So right here you've got the rear brake. It's actually a coaster brake style setup. You can see the adjustable linkage, band brake inside of the drum here. Pedal start motorcycle. Over on this side, you've actually got the clutch mechanism. Now, this being a pedal start bike, what we've done is we've taken the clutch linkage off so we can pedal this thing easily, but the Indian countershaft clutch here separates the primary and the secondary drive. So first chain's always spinning, you activate that clutch, you can get your rear wheel and your rear chain to stand still. Really pretty incredible stuff. About a 2-gallon, gallon and 3/4 gas tank. You've got the oil tank down low. Now we've got this motorcycle primed. We've run this bike once already today just to make sure everything's dialed in and operating the way that it should. Now we're going to be running the bike on spray. We're still having some fuel delivery issues. This is what we call a tomato can carburetor. So the early Indian Headstrom carburetor is extremely primitive. We're having some fuel delivery issues with this. We think we've got it pinpointed. So it's going to be take this thing apart. It looks like we need to solder a new emulsion tube back into the carburetor. Once we get that done, this thing ought to be firing and running dependably. So today we're going to run this on spray. Brandon's going to be fixing me up with the supply here, get this thing pedal starting, and away we should be going. So we've got Splitdorf magneto. It's gear driven. This is a single cam engine with internal cam followers. Again, pocket valves, so the intake's open down, the exhaust valves open up. Really spindly little engines these Indians are. Compared to a Harley of the same year, you get Harley Davidson, much more industrial. Doesn't necessarily mean it's faster. These things absolutely fly. The Headstrom engine was extremely competitive on the tracks back then. This one, again, set up with all sorts of cool trim, the brake, the clutch, really neat steering dampener here that's just a friction dampener. Same thing on the front, suspension dampener. Indians famous for their leaf spring, trailing link front ends, leaf spring suspension here, and then what you've got is the scissor shock dampener that lets that, slows that down and dampens the front end quite a bit. So very useful on the bumpy stuff. We're gonna get this thing going, guys. So Brandon, if you wanna grab the spray, and we've just fired it the once. Hopefully it fires off as easy as it does the second time. So decompress the engine. We actually roll this all the way back, and what you've got is exhaust valves are lifted. It allows you to pedal this up to speed, get some inertia with your flywheels, drop the compression release, and we should be running in no time. So we got the air bleed. Where we at, Brandon? Yep, got her closed. And then as we run this, we'll go ahead and open that up and see if we can get it to breathe fire just a little bit more. Okay, so here we are. We're closed and back. This thing has 3 different air bleeds on the carburetor. It's amazing how you could make something so primitive into something so complicated. So we're going to do our best to make this thing run like she should today, and over the next week or so we'll pull this down, fix the carburetor, slap it back together. Maybe one day we'll be making laps on the track. So, all right, here we go. What a deal. What a motorcycle. That was a ton of fun, man. As you guys can see, it absolutely barks flames, throws fire like nobody's business. We got some carburetor work to do on this. He was feeding it perfectly, just enough to give it some revs and see what it's all about. Couple hours, we'll have this thing back together. Make sure you join us next time. Make sure you tune in all of our Facebook and YouTube programming. Machines just like this, museum that runs right here at Wheels Through Time. We're firing up all sorts of rare motorcycles. We'll see you next time.